Jerry Mallory here, SB Nation Pride Detroit. We have Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford on the line. Thanks for joining us, Matt. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No doubt. We're going to get right into it. We're going to ask about the game this past Sunday night. You guys went down to Green Bay. Had a pretty good start. You ran in for a touchdown, but came up just short. What are your thoughts about that game as a whole?
Well, it was a tough loss. Anytime you lose a game, it's disappointing. We put a good effort forward in the first half and just didn't have enough to win it in the second half. And it's always disappointing, but it's a new week, and we've got to move on and focus on Arizona.
No doubt. Now, one cool thing about this game, you got a chance to play with a guy not only you went to college with there in Georgia, but you guys are pretty close. That was Chris Durham. What was that like? Just a few years back, you guys were on the field together. From the collegiate standpoint, now you're in the NFL, and he had a pretty big catch, too. What are your thoughts on playing with your buddy?
It was fun. Obviously, it was a big step for him as far as, being on our practice squad 3 days before the game and then coming up and playing 78 plays or whatever he played. And I thought he did a great job. There were obviously some plays that we left out there. You see that, after every game. But when he was given an opportunity to make some plays, he went out there and did it. And, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think we could use a little bit more size. After Calvin, as far as height-wise, it's a big drop-off. So that'd be pretty cool if Durham can stick on. He's a pretty big target. Now, looking ahead, you've got 3 games left, and, no doubt you're focused on those games. You're focused on Arizona first and foremost. As you take a look back at the season, you have to say it's been a bit of a disappointment. Last year, you guys learned how to win. You learned success. Well, what have you learned from this year being a bit of a down year?
I think just about how hard it is to win in this league. And, like you said, last year we were winning close games and got to 10-6, made it to the playoffs. And this year haven't come out on the right end of those games. Had a chance there to have a good 4-game stretch at home and lost all 4 of them, by just a few points in each game and had our chances to win every single one of them and didn't get it done. And, that was disappointing. That was a big stretch in our season. But like you said, we are, we got to keep moving forward. That's what you have to do in this league. If you dwell on the past, it'll come back to get you. So we got to move on, get ready, and focus on Arizona.
One of the criticisms some people have been saying, whether it be on the radio or TV, is when you look at these games, like you said, they've been close. You guys have leads late in games. Maybe the play calling starts to change. Obviously you're going to run the ball a little bit more, clock control. But some critics have been saying that you guys don't quite have that killer instinct, even though you're up, several points, to keep passing the ball down the field. You look at the Patriots yesterday, they kind of just kept that foot on the gas. How would you respond to those that are saying this team maybe lacks that killer instinct to, even when the team is down, to keep pressing forward?
I would say they were probably the most aggressive team in the league as far as, throwing the football and trying to make plays in the passing game. So, if I sat here and worried about what all the critics say, I'd be worrying about the wrong thing. I'm just worried about trying to get ready to go for Sunday.
That's cool. Now, one thing I want to ask you, there are a few records that are up for grabs. Calvin Johnson, he's on pace to possibly break Jerry Rice's record. That's something that stood for so long. And then you, a lot of people aren't talking about, you're on pace to be the first quarterback to have back-to-back seasons over 5,000 yards. Now, I know winning is most important. You'd probably love to pass for 50 yards as long as you win. But when you think about those 2 records, is that something you're aware of? Is it something you would not go for at the cost of the game, but something that you are kind of looking at for both you and Calvin?
Mostly for CJ. He's got a chance to break a record that's been around for so long and set by one of the NFL all-time greats. And frankly, the more he catches the ball, the more yards and scores that he gets, the better our team is. And we understand that. So it's a great record in the sense that nobody's being selfish, but when Calvin Johnson catches the football for us, good things happen. So it's fun to be a part of that and hopefully help him do that.
That's cool, and it's kind of natural with this team. If you pass for those yards, if Calvin gets those yards, it's not like it's forced. That's part of you guys' offense anyway, is to pass a lot and to pass to Calvin. So I can see both of you guys hitting those records and still staying in your game plan. Now, I want to take you back a few weeks. The Titus Young situation, it's not to the point where we want to talk about, him being dismissed, him being on IR, but just that initial moment, it's a controversial play where he moved Scheffler to the outside and he took that slot position. What was going through your mind at that very moment when that play kind of got confused in the short aftermath after that?
At that time I was just trying to, run the play. I knew we had no timeouts left, so I was just trying to get guys lined up and run the play. It was obviously, something that we'd like to wish it wouldn't have happened, but it did, and we had to move on from it.
Now, one thing we want to talk about on the lighter side, it's this nickname issue. You've got Calvin. You guys are like a team. You're a tandem. You guys are kind of synonymous with each other, both being young and doing the things you have. Calvin obviously has this nickname, Megatron. It's caught on. And so we look at you, and we know you like to be called Matthew Stafford, not Matt. So we're trying to find a perfect nickname for it. I asked some of the guys at the site that I'm on. One that kind of stuck was Optimus 9, kind of a play on Transformers. And your jersey number, you had the Blue Bomber. What's the deal with you and nicknames? Is this something that you would openly embrace if one came your way that kind of stuck?
Sure. I mean, I don't spend any time thinking about it, but if one, sounded pretty cool and, guys like calling me that, then I'll go for it. But, it's not number one on my agenda right now, that's for sure.
Now, one last thing we want to ask you, then we're going to talk a little bit more about the big things you guys are doing with Pepsi and Kid Rock. Looking at this team, there's need for improvement on all areas, but just looking at yourself personally, and you want to improve on all aspects of the game, but if you could focus on one thing these last 3 games and heading into the off season that you want to improve on personally, yourself, what are you going to attack?
I think decision-making. I think that's what quarterbacks are ultimately judged on, making good decisions, for 4 quarters. And, that's something that everybody, on the football field is trying to do better, including myself.
All right. Now, we appreciate you answering those questions there. Now, we want to ask you a little bit about what you're doing with Pepsi and Kid Rock. I got a chance to listen to some of the anthems. Kid Rock is doing the one for Detroit. It's kind of a native thing. You got Aerosmith that's in the mix, Wiz Khalifa, Ice Cube. All the songs are pretty good. They're available free download if you go to the site there. Tell us about your involvement with it and with Kid Rock.
Yeah, it's the Pepsi NFL Anthems program, like you said, and he wrote and performed the song in Detroit for obviously for the city of Detroit and for the Lions. He's been such a great ambassador for the city of Detroit and for our team for such a long time. I think it was fitting that he was chosen to do it, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. Like you said, the fans can go to PepsiAnthems.com for a free download of the In Detroit song by Kid Rock and all the other the anthems. So it's cool because it's happening in 8 cities around the league. So fans from all over can really get into it and get their input out there. So it's a fun program and a cool thing that Pepsi's doing. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Jim Schwartz, your coach, is a real big rock guy, heavy metal and everything. Are you kind of like that? Are you a big rocker yourself off the field?
I listen to everything. I'm not stuck with one genre here or there, but I definitely like Kid Rock's music. So that was fun for me to be able to hang out with him, and while he was doing his music bit, while I was just kind of hanging out there and getting to watch him do it. It was cool. It's
only fitting that Kid Rock did the anthem for us. Matthew, we want to thank you for your time. We know this season's been a little bit down, but I'll speak on behalf of myself and a lot of the fans. We know the cornerstones of this team, the people we're going to build off of. You're definitely one of them. And whether the nickname sticks, Optimus 9, I'm trying to get that out there, or whatever they're going to call you. We just want to appreciate you for your time, and we look forward to having you on again.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right.